A mural to remember the dead. It seems like the last place vandals would target. Good evening, I'm Brian Mastery. But as we've seen over the years, even cemeteries aren't off limits. New tonight, how a local business is trying to step in to make things right again. First Alert 6's Johan Marin is live with reaction from one woman who helped build it. Johan?
That's right, Brian. You can see the wooden benches are broken in half. These are meant to honor those lost to gun violence. And after talking to families who oversee this site, they say it isn't the first time it's been vandalized.
When people are doing these heinous, senseless things, for what?
A devastating scene.
This is the third time that something has happened where someone either tried to steal them or they ended up getting broken.
Buffy Bush created the Queen's Legacy mural back in 2022 to honor her sister, Jamila Hesseltine, along with dozens of women and one man lost to gun violence. 4 wooden benches were also put in those victims' memories for their families to sit and reflect.
Their families go there to celebrate anniversaries and birthdays. They have balloon releases there.
Now, there's an empty void on the ground and in people's hearts.
This is a place where a lot of the families go to grieve their family members that are gone.
Brienne is hoping to soften the blow of vandalism. She and her company, De Santiago Masonry, plan to donate 4 longer-lasting benches made of stone.
We truly believe in giving back to our community and doing good when we can.
For the woman who created this space, she hopes it restores this place of healing.
It's a place for the families to go other than a graveyard.
Now, the 4 new stone benches donated to the mural site won't be fully installed until this fall. Live in the studio, I'm Johan Marin, First Alert 6.
Johan, thanks for bringing